We got Jimmy Butler trade to the Warriors. Durant said no, and we all know why he said no. Hopefully we know why. Jimmy and Draymond on the same team? And you know, hey, that person that licked the Jordan Poole and Draymond Green punch, bro. Yeah, I know he on the lookout. He got his camera ready. He dusting off his camera. Oh yeah, I got some action to send to TMZ. Oh yeah.
Finally happened.
Dusting off that old camera.
Jimmy Butler has been traded to the Golden State Warriors for Andrew Wiggins, Dennis Schroeder, Kyle Anderson, and a protected first round.
Speaking of Dennis Schroeder, you heard what he said, bro?
That's a very
These dudes ain't getting a trade like the modern day slavery. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Haul. It's not the greatest haul.
He said it's modern day slavery.
But at least they get something. Wiggins is the immediate...
I know you gotta move your family and whatnot, but...
...placement for Butler. He
Come on, man.
Similar things, and he's younger. He's 29 years old. Jimmy Butler is 35 years old. So not bad. Schroeder's a solid player. He's always been solid. He's a decent defender. He's a decent offensive player. And he led Germany to the gold in international play. That was very impressive. That was eye-opening for a lot of people. So he's solid. Kyle Anderson, kind of a throw-in player, something light. The first-round pick is protected, so they might not get that pick. So it's not the greatest. They didn't get a bunch of draft picks for him, but considering this Heat franchise, they weren't going to pay him that money anyway, and they like to find those guys that are undrafted. They like to find gems. It's not too bad for them. For the Warriors, it's interesting because they look desperate. They've been playing bad this season. It's been tough.
You know what's crazy? They in a three-way tie. Not one-way, not two-way, but three-way tie for number 8 in the West. And you know, anyway, that means you on a road in the playing, but you get another chance to win. That means you get 2 playing games if you lose.
And you saw they got cooked by that game winner. Wiggins actually got cooked by Austin Reeves. So maybe they're hoping Jimmy Butler's going to give them more solid defense, even though he's older. Jimmy Butler is almost like a Draymond Green. He's kind of an enforcer. Wiggins was never an enforcer. So maybe their defense is going to be tougher, and maybe Jimmy still has a lot left in the tank offensively to help with his team.
I heard they gave him an extension too, so maybe it better be. Hey, maybe it better be. They gave him an extension, bruh. They gave him an extension. They better be.
They had to do something. It's funny because there were reports they were trying to get Kevin Durant, but Durant didn't want to go back to the Warriors.
You know
probably
why?
Because of Draymond Green. Now that is pretty funny. So this was their next option, their best option. I don't know if they could have done better than this, and they didn't really give up that much to make it happen. Yes, they're going older with Jimmy Butler, but that first-round pick is protected.
And Draymond, check
Wiggins,
DMs.
It looked like they were
Draymond in your IG comments, check DMs.
Trade Wiggins for a while, and Schroeder, they didn't really need him either. So for the Warriors, I mean, it's okay. This trade is not really, nobody really lost, nobody really won. It's like, okay, they finally moved on from Jimmy Butler. They did okay. Warriors, maybe it'll help them a little bit. We'll see how it all plays out. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Give that guy.
All right. Shout out Chris Smooth. This trade happened in the middle of a game on ESPN. I think it's the Fox debut against the Hawks. Yeah, see what they got to say. Draymond and Jimmy, man. Yeah, Draymond and Jimmy, man. Draymond and Jimmy. They going to have the video of their first argument. They'll be video of their first argument. What's going to happen?
Presented by Hyundai.
Breaking news out of the Miami Heat. Our Shams Charania reporting that Jimmy Butler is on his way to the Golden State Warriors. The deal includes sending Andrew Wiggins, Dennis Schroeder, Kyle Anderson, and a protected first-round pick, all to the Miami Heat. Udonis Haslem, you're a resident member of the Miami Heat. What do you think of this trade?
I love it. I love it for both sides, but I love the fact that we get a backup point guard. We lost Drew Smith a little earlier to injuries. We get an athletic wing to put.
Cool, bro, you gotta do that and buy source the Heat on the show. I guess it don't matter because they're not playing or anything like that, but still, damn.
put next to Tyler Hero and Duncan
Who
Robinson.
you gonna say I like the trade for the Heat?
Somebody can guard, do it on both ends of the basketball court. We love Swiss Army knife guys. And then we get those guys to play with Bam. And Wiggins has been there. He's been a champion. He understands what it's about. And I also got to give some credit to the veteran, Kyle Anderson. We need a vet in that locker room, some leadership.
You talked about the Miami Heat side. I want to talk about the Golden State Warriors side. If you think about what the words have been coming out of Golden State, it's been about maximizing Steph Curry's prime. This is a first step that you can see, getting Jimmy Butler. It comes down to two things for me. Clutch time. The Golden State Warriors have played the second most clutch time games. They're only 16-14. If he can win you some games, meaning you're playing games where it's decided by a few points, that's going to help. Secondly, it's touch time. This season, Jimmy Butler is averaging his lowest amount of touches, which means he's capable of playing off ball. So that's what you're betting on if you're Golden State.
Let's just take a step back here. The Golden State Warriors, they're playing tonight against the Utah Jazz. And our own Young Masuk reporting again, reacting in real time to this, that reporters were in the locker room for their standard pregame locker room availability when Steve Kerr, Steph Curry, and the players who were on the court warming up all were called into the locker room. Reporters were asked to leave, and you have to assume that that's when these sorts of conversations started to happen. Again, the news is the Miami Heat are finalizing a deal to send Jimmy Butler to the Golden State Warriors. I want to bring in the man who broke this news, Shams Charania. Shams, how did this deal come
Man's
together?
on the road. Shout out to Shams, man. Jimmy Butler's agent tried to tear him down, but no, he was right all along. Shams, tell him where my apology at. Go on Twitter. Go on ESPN. Where my apology at, Jimmy Butler agent? Whatever his name is. Where my apology at? Come on.
So,
I want the apology to be as loud as the disrespect, man. I want the apology to be as loud as the disrespect. I want the apology to be loud as
The Warriors
disrespect.
had really focused their attention on Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant had indicated in league circles that he had no desire to go to Golden State and reunite with the Warriors. So today, in quick order, the Warriors and the Miami Heat, this is an agreement in principle. They are acquiring Jimmy Butler in a trade. Andrew Wiggins, Dennis Schroeder, Kyle Anderson, and a protected first-round pick going to Miami. So after a almost 2-month-long saga between the Heat and Jimmy Butler, he is now out. He's going to a Western Conference home, a hopeful contender. He's going to join Stephen Curry, Draymond Green. They've been looking all year for a star player to join those two in that Warriors rotation and lineup. They have aspirations for a championship. They want Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy, to be a big part of it.
Playoff Jimmy is on his way to the Golden State Warriors. Shams, thank you very much. As we bring it back here inside our studios, Chiney, do you think that this move gets Golden State closer, given everything that they had to give up?
They're inching closer, but one name that we have yet to mention is Jonathan Kuminga. They have been able to retain him based off of the news. He was not in the deal.
They not trading nobody. They not trading Kuminga. They not trading Polynesian. Damn, they want to keep them for life. Everything. They still got the young players. Moody, Kuminga, and Polynesian. If KD wanted to come to back to the Warriors, they got to give up at least one of them. But hey, they got Jimmy.
Means he was someone that they valued as a future also development. You know,
imagine Kuminga on the Heat, bro. That would have been a great spot for him.
You think about the Golden State Warriors, so having Draymond, having Steph, we sort of assumed that those guys were untouchable.
Kuminga on the Heat, bro. Imagine him on the Heat, man. That would have been nice.
Jonathan Kuminga to that mix, and you bring in Jimmy Butler. Now you have some pieces you can work with.
And they might not be done yet. They still have Buddy. They still have Peyton. They still have an opportunity to go get a guy like Vucevic or go get a guy like Bobby Portis. So they still might not be done yet. I think this definitely moves them closer. I know what Jimmy is firsthand, playoff Jimmy. I know what he brings. He's definitely going to take some stress off Steph in the half court. When you need to get a bucket and the game slows down, especially in the playoffs, you can go to Jimmy, and he's going to be efficient for you.
There's so
All right. Shout out ESPN. Shams on the road. Jimmy to the Warriors. Do that, I think. Hey, it's fun. You know, it's fun. You put the stars back together, you know. Jimmy, Draymond, they got a big three. Draymond, and Curry. It's just Draymond and Curry. I mean, Draymond and Jimmy. That's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun and interesting. Wipe off your cameras. You know, dust off that link. Get that dust off your damn camera. The Bucks also traded Chris Middleton to the Wizards for Kyle Kuzma. At least Kuzma's on a contender now. I've been calling for that all season now long. Hey, Pooh, you next. You can get traded anywhere but the Golden State Warriors. And you know how Chris Muth is with Chris Middleton. He said, "Want to be superstar Middleton, bootleg superstar Middleton." Yeah, that's how Chris Moo don't like Chris Middleton. I like Chris Middleton personally, though. He was averaging 20 a game before Giannis was MVP. It's just he's not flashy.
Milwaukee Bucks are getting busy before the deadline. They're trading Chris Middleton,
What kind of court is
AJ
this?
Johnson, and a pick swap
What the
to the
hell
Washington
kind of court
Wizards
is
for
this?
Kyle Kuzma, Patrick Baldwin Jr., and a second-round pick. This is a weird trade. It really is. It doesn't really do much for the Bucks. It doesn't really make them better. Maybe the Wizards actually win the trade. Ever since the Bucks traded Drew Holiday, they kind of lost their identity. They're not really a good defensive team. It's just kind of like, and now by getting rid of Middleton for Kuzma doesn't play defense. His offense is okay. It's streaky.
He's an NBA
Sometimes
champion.
he's good, sometimes
They traded
he's not.
NBA champion for NBA champion. They traded NBA champion for NBA champion.
Didn't really improve. They didn't really help their situation. It's almost like they're just shuffling contracts around. And I guess it depends, who do you like better? Would you rather have AJ Johnson or Patrick Baldwin Jr.? Chris Middleton hasn't been the same since his injury. He used to be a superstar when he wanted to be, when he decided to be. But the injury definitely slowed him down. He still does good things. His defense, it's decent. It's not as good as it was pre-injury. His offense is okay as well. It's up and down. It's streaky.
Bro, why the dude on his
I
knees?
don't really know. I don't know if Kuzma is a better fit. This is just an odd trade all around. It really is. Maybe everybody's losing their mind after watching the Luka trade happen, because the Mavs made another trade, and that one didn't really make sense, where they got rid of Grimes for Martin. That was another questionable trade. So maybe that's giving some confidence to all these GMs. They're just letting these deals fly. So get in that comment section. Let's hear from Bucks fans and Wizards fans. What do you think about this trade? Who won this trade? The only thing I can think of is maybe the Bucks have another trade coming and they're trying to set something up here, but even that doesn't really make sense. It seems too complicated, but I guess we'll see what happens.
Hey, I know that had nothing to do with the video, but KD, he said no to the Warriors, but I know what team KD won't say no to. The Timberwolves! Hey, T, we're trying to make a trade for KD, man. Try trade Randall, get well soon, Randall, and who else? Who else we may have to give up? They may have to give up. We'll give up not Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Try to keep McDaniels, because he's been hooping. Try to keep Naz Reid, because he's 6-man. Who else? Y'all want Rudy? Nah, we'll keep Rudy. Keep Rudy. Nobody want Rudy's contract. There you go. Yeah, they keep Rudy. They gotta keep Rudy. But hey, Timberwolves got first-round draft picks? The Timberwolves got first-round draft picks? They can throw in the trade? KD? Hey, I know KD would love to go to the Timberwolves.